If I say that, she's probably going to roast me.
Okay. So this is fear, not filtering. No. But going straight into our COVID-19 updates for this morning. So our cases have gone up to 2,719. The number of people who have died remain at 18. Recoveries, we've made some strides from 229 to 294. The Greater Accra region has recorded 480 new cases, bringing the region's tally to 2,332, with 70 of the new cases coming from other regions. So that's what's going on with COVID-19, and numbers are going up. So we haven't quite hit that flat in the curve yet.
So the data was updated with 550 new cases yesterday.
Yes, 550.
Yes, so there's still quite a lot we need to learn, isn't there?
Yes.
About the origins of these cases.
Of these cases, yes.
And how come the numbers have been updated so sharply.
You know, my challenge is, so we know there's a backlog.
Yes.
So the new cases that we have now,
are they in the backlog
or the new cases? Because we also know that, you know, every day there are new cases, new samples taken to the testing centers. So what we have now, is it part of the backlog? I mean, the last time KCCR said they had about 8,000, samples as part of their backlog, and which they are trying so hard to clear. As they clear, the new ones that are being brought in. So, real-time data, it's important in all of this.
Yeah, especially when some countries are recording as high as 10,000 new cases a day.
The number of deaths has also been updated, as well as the number of recoveries and those who are in critical condition. But once again, all of those numbers only pertain to those who have been identified through routine surveillance, which is a very strange statistic. None of the people who have been identified through enhanced contact tracing has recovered. None of them. Those who were quarantined when they arrived from abroad, it's been 4 weeks now, 5 weeks, none of them has recovered. Strange, right? Or is it just me?
It's strange. Hopefully at some point we'll be able to get the answers. But just going straight into the headlines. Okay, the Finder is reporting this morning NPP is better than NDC in managing crisis. That's according to Dr. Baumia, who spoke yesterday. Ghana's confirmed cases hit 2,719. All COVID-19 patients at Kolebu recover and have been discharged. Wow. That's the Finder.
All right, so the Daily Statesman says, stop embarrassing yourself. Baumia jabs Mahama over uninformed statement on economy. And COVID-19, 30 million lose jobs in America. How many have lost jobs in Ghana? Keeping faith with the people, 10 youth or sport resource centers ready soon. And on the back page, coronavirus pandemic, hard to see fans returning to football soon. That's according to the English FA, chairman. That's right, And Deportivo Alaves makes surplus revenue after sale of Mubarak Wakaso.
Right, okay. The new crusading guide, China must apologize for abusing blacks in COVID-19 pandemic. That's according to Nana Kwame Bediako. Baumia punches Mahama again, charges him to rely on data before delivering speeches. That's it for the new crusading guide.
And the Daily Guide says Tobinco COVID-19 drag out June. Human blood in gallons. Killer fetish priest confers. And even Dumso, you couldn't manage. Baumia jabs Mahama. And COVID-19 now 2,719. Backpage, multi-purpose youth centers 80% completed. And NPC president calls for government support. And this one by Inaki Williams. He says, I have sex 7 times a week in a bit of admission. And I begged for money on streets, Patrice Evra.
Okay, the Chronicle, Proverbs 12:15. The way of a fool is right in his own eyes, but a wise man listens to advice. Once again, I'm not sure who they are speaking to this morning. But other headlines, go away, Chronicle is not invited. Police sack reporter over money doubling saga. Steel companies increase prices of products despite 50% power subsidy. And that's it for the front page of the Chronicle.
The Daily Graphic says power bill relief takes effect, exercise to cost government 1 billion Ghana cedis, and Fidelity Bank supports infectious disease facility with 1 million cedis. Murdered pensioner was biochemist and 17 Burkinabe, 1 Ivorian illegal immigrants arrested. Backpage says 4 new interchanges for Kumasi, feasibility studies completed, and Minister inspects water services in Choko.
Yes, that's Choko's story. Also on the back page of the Ghanaian Times, as the government starts supplying free water to Choko. So the Ministry of Sanitation and Water Resources supplying about 30,000 liters of water to residents of Choko and Accra on a daily basis until the end of June this year. On the front page of the Ghanaian Times, the Ghana Traditional Council places ban on drumming, noise making from May 11th. COVID-19 updates. Government shows leadership in managing the economy. Mandatory mask wearing starts tomorrow in Accra to curb spread of COVID-19. Winston, have you got your masks ready?
I have them ready.
Okay, because every time you step out, you are supposed to be wearing a mask. I'll tell you a little bit more about that when we go into the stories.
All right, let's do the online review real quick. It's brought to you by Zenith Bank, in your best interest, and Goyle Good Energy. Now, look, Goyle wants all of you, their valued customers, to know that they value their relationship with you. It's been built over the years, and they want you safe. So when you come to their service stations, cover your mouth with tissue when you cough and dispose of the tissue immediately. Wash your hands with soap and running water, which has been provided at all service stations, especially when you handle money. You can also use an alcohol-based sanitizer if you're not in a position to wash your hands. Maintain a minimum distance of 1.5 meters between you and other customers and or attendees. And please, let's all observe these simple protocols together to defeat the COVID-19 virus. If you exhibit any symptoms, do not head straight to a hospital. Just call the hotlines and ask for help. And the numbers are 055 2222 004 and 055 2222 005. Okay, so you can also bank on the go with your mobile phone. Just dial star 966 hash. That's Zenith Bank's USSD sort code. It's good how some companies are thinking of how you can stay safe and still enjoy the services they provide. Zenith Bank is doing that beautifully with the star 966 hash number. You can open a bank account instantly. You can link your mobile money wallet to your bank account. You can top up airtime, transfer funds, pay bills, and so much more. So do it the easy way. Dial star 966 hash today. The service is available to account and non-account holders. Zenith Bank, in your best interest. Right, let me take you quickly through some headlines on a few websites. MyJoyOnline.com says this is the big story. How 2 fetish priests murdered and buried a biochemist and others at their shrine. Also, are COVID-19 related deaths added to the Ghana Health Service figures? This is a question from the GMA, Ghana Medical Association. Interesting question. It is inhumane to compare coronavirus pandemic to Dumso. That's Ato Forson telling Dr. Baumia. Minority condemns alleged plot to gag employees of Gridco, and murder of Sogakope assemblyman, not contract killing. This is from a suspect's confession. Right, City Newsroom has these. COVID-19, we've not approved any rapid diagnostic test yet. That's the FDA putting that warning out. And also, Austin Game calls for extended tripartite committee meeting over job losses. All patients at Kolebu Teaching Hospital treated and discharged for COVID-19. Let your works speak for you, Ablakwa advises Baumia. And COVID-19 recoveries in Ghana now 294. All right, BBC has these. Virus deaths past 250,000 as countries lift curbs. And plane with coronavirus supplies crashes in Somalia. Imagine that. What a horrible thing.
Very unfortunate, yeah.
Is Mozambique the latest outpost of Islamic State? That's a question being posed on BBC. And Premier League doctors raise concerns. How do African countries compare on testing? Is a story that will definitely mention Ghana. And CNN has price of reopening the U.S. tens of thousands of lives. Okay,
well, straight into what happened yesterday when Dr. Baumia responded to ex-President Mahama. I won't tell you about it. Rather, we'll have what he said for you.
If you want to test the robustness of an economy, you test it in a time of crisis. Thankfully, we have had two crises. Under the NDC, there was an internally generated crisis, which was Dumso. Under the presidency of Nana Akufo-Addo, there has been an externally generated crisis, which has been the global coronavirus pandemic. I just want you to ask yourselves, how have these two crises been managed? The Dumso crisis, which crippled this economy for 4 years. What were the mitigating measures offered to businesses and individuals during Dumso? This was an internally generated crisis. We saw that even during Dumso, electricity prices were being increased. Fuel prices were being increased. Teacher training allowances were being cancelled. Lesson training allowances were being... All of that was happening during that particular crisis. You look at the coronavirus crisis and you look at the difference in terms of what has happened. The President has reduced electricity prices, made it free for lifeline consumers, has given free water for all Ghanaians for 3 months, has made sure that there is a stimulus package of 600 million Ghana cedis for businesses. And we have seen domestic production of PPEs, personal protective equipment for our health workers locally. So the difference couldn't be more stark between the leadership under a crisis under Dumso and that under the coronavirus epidemic. So I ask a simple question. Who will you trust in a time of crisis? The answer, I would say, is very, very clear. Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo has shown leadership and concern for ordinary Ghanaians.
That was the Vice President.
I think I'll answer the question that he asked about who will you trust in the time of crisis. I'll trust God in the time of crisis, especially when at a time like this it's become a back and forth between, ex-presidents and, current vice presidents and just, like General Mosquito said, let's focus on the crisis, the COVID-19. That is why NDC is not picking a running mate, and that is why Bawumia should not be responding to ex-president John Mahama. Focus is the word this morning.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Well, but the most important thing anymore, even though we're talking about COVID-19 and the fact that it could consume all of us, let us also not lose, the fact that it's an election year. And, if we put everything aside, once former President Mahama speaks in one of his Facebook live encounters, you would expect government to, try to respond. And once he talks about the coin, but my challenge here, the challenge, not mine, the challenge here is that we're still in the COVID-19 crisis. We're not out of it yet. And so when it comes to management of the crisis, it is only when the crisis is over that you'll be able to say who managed it properly. Mm-hmm. Because giving 600 million Ghana cedis is supposed to lead to something. Mm-hmm. It is not just the action that you
measure.
You measure, but it's the impact of that action. So what will be the result of giving SME 600 million Ghana cedis? As we speak, what are the modalities for the distribution of 600 million Ghana cedis? We're told the National Board for Small Scale Industries is supposed to be coming out with those measures. We're promised the measures were going to be ready in May, and all we've heard is, one or two things have been happening. We're trying to pilot it or what have you. I mean, on May Day, you had Tony Senaya make the point that he was, waiting for the 600 million stimulus package so he could even assess it because businesses have been so hit by all of this. So, Mr. Vice President, yes, it is, Dr. Bawumia, it is very important, Vice President, you talk about these things. But you see, we're not out yet. And the promises you made in the past about stimulus packages have not really yielded that kind of results. We're talking about an economy that might grow at 1.5%. That would be, the worst since 1983 or so. That is the challenge we're faced with. And for Kojo, who was around at the time, he wouldn't even remember. He knows in 1983,
Please, if you want us to compare crises, I can tell you about 1983.
Okay, so you see, for those who can remember how the 1983 crisis affected the economy, we're looking at an economy which the World Bank says is going to go into recession, there's going to be contraction. Let us tread cautiously. One of the things we need most now, all hands on deck. Not the usual politicization of it.
So there are some who are saying, and I've got a couple of text messages here, somebody asking, so could the Vice President have responded by saying, thank you for your comments, Mr. Former President, but we're a bit busy right now managing a crisis.
I think that would have been quite dignified.
This is what's happening with the crisis.
Yeah.
Here's some information to help you, cope with it better as a Ghanaian. Thank you very much for your time. Would that not have been an option? Available?
Possibly. And also maybe responded on Facebook, as well as Mr. Mahama spoke on Facebook, and perhaps saved a little bit of resources that may have gone into organizing this.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what to call it, but anyway.
Okay. All right. So what else is in the papers this morning? Got a minute.
Well, so power bills relief takes effect. You know that we've been talking about electricity. Well, one of those reliefs, and so the Electricity Company of Ghana has started implementing the 3-month electricity bill relief announced by the government to mitigate the impact of COVID-19 on customers. And we're told the final configuration of the company's prepayment systems was completed in the night of April 30, 2020, and thereby paving way for the electricity reliefs to kick in on May 1.
All right, we'll look forward to that. Right now, though, time for a couple of messages. When we come back, the BBC. But conversations are only just beginning. Stay with us. We will definitely talk a bit more about what we've been hearing from leadership.